All right, guys, welcome back to part two. We got the next three games here. So first one we got going on is D's Nuts versus number 8. Coming up, I applaud him for putting Vic and Cole back on the same team. A little controversy there, but definitely, Vic's going to get the start. And I just see him tearing it up against that St. Louis defense. I mean, he's going to be showing why he's worth that big contract. McFadden, he's going to have his week one against a new look Broncos defense. So they're looking to fill holes. I think McFadden still just slashes and gets the ball all over the place. He's going to be money in that game. Branch and Welker, they're going to, they should lead the offense there. Get a lot of passes from Tom Brady, looking to tear up that Miami defense. In Green Bay, they're going to be tested against a tough New Orleans team, especially with Mark Ingram coming in with that pass attack. But I see, D's Nuts, I think he gets some things going, gets on the board. What do you see here in this game?
Yeah, D's Nuts definitely has some good things going for him. Ahmad Bradshaw and Timmy Hightower going against each other in that NFC East game. That'll be fun to watch, where it's just one of those where you just root for the offense. Go,
yep.
Team, go. Also looking at Vic and McFadden, that's a lot of options for D's Nuts.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of the fence, we've got number 8 Forever, who comes in just stacked at receiver. 4 stud receivers and a tight end with Antonio Gates. So basically 5 receivers. Tosses in Big Ben. Roethlisberger facing the Ravens defense. Traditionally a tough defense, but they're aging. What do you think about that?
I see that as well. Basically you have 2 great defenses in that game, but Big Ben, it's going to be a grinded out game. It always is between Baltimore and Pittsburgh. With running back position, Willis McGahee, he's going to be sharing carries with Moreno. McGahee's probably going to get the looks at the goal line, but who knows what that Broncos offense can do when they get down there. Usually not much. The wide receiver core, obviously, if they're going to win in week 1, it's going to be because of that wide receiving core. Will the plays happen? Will they not? That's toss it there. Not having defense, I think, kind of hurts them in this game a little bit, so we'll see what happens there. I like D's Nuts to take it away. Just keep grinding out throughout the day.
Yeah, number 8 Forever is an intriguing team. We talk about so stacked at receiver. Antonio Gates, Roddy White, Mike Wallace, Vincent Jackson, Anquan Bolden. With the scoring in this league, 40 yards or more being that big play. Usually if it's a big play, it's going to be a throw. These are some guys I'd like to have on my team. Roethlisberger is scary this week. Sometimes he has those 158 yards,
yep.
a touchdown, and 2 pick games where they win 14-13. And so it's scary as a fantasy option. I'm not sure this is a 350-yard game for him. McGahee and Pierre Thomas roles aren't completely defined yet. They've got to get in the end zone if number 8 has a shot here. I don't see it. I kind of think Vic, Darren McFadden, too much. So I'm going to go ahead and side with D's Nuts here along with you. That's who you got this week, right?
Yep. So I've taken them in that game. So next up we have Deer vs. Donkeys, Bass Bowl 2011 here. First up for Denver Deer, I think Phillip Rivers carries along his league-leading numbers. Ray Rice, he's going to be the predominant back in Baltimore now. Doesn't have to worry about McGahee taking away his carries at the goal line. If the Ravens do any damage here against Pittsburgh, I think it's going to be due to Ray Rice. Young receivers, there's a lot of breakout potential here in week 1. Those young receivers are facing bad defenses. Browns, Rams, Bengals. And Baltimore D, it's aging but still highly effective. I see, Deer's going to get some points here. What do you see on the matchup here?
All right, Bass Bowl 2011. This would be the 8th year, and probably I count this matchup against the Bass Boys. Finally, these teams both have top quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers on one side facing the Saints for the Donkeys. The Deer coming with Phillip Rivers and the Vikings. Both those could put up big points. Both maybe cancel each other out a little bit. Donkeys looking in that 09 form, going 2 tight ends here in the starting lineup.
That's like throwing in the wishbone in the offense. It's a little old school, but it may work here.
It's the wishbone. I like that. I don't know. I see he's got Mike Sims Walker against the Eagles. Tough cornerbacks there. He's got Reggie Wayne, but who's throwing him the ball? I mean, if it's Kerry Collins and we've got Jonathan Joseph on Reggie Wayne, that's going to be some tough matchups. I don't think Brady and Ocho are in sync quite yet. He's got Ocho Cinco. So the Donkeys could really see some issue at receiver this week, but really strong at running back with Turner and Beanie Wells. What else do you think here?
I think that's the key right there. He's got his backs. They're facing, you got Beanie Wells up against Carolina. I think he gets it done there.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers just tossing the ball all over the place. He definitely puts up some points. Can Ocho Cinco break out of the little funk he's been in the preseason? Hopefully, if he's gonna take away the win. I think Reggie Wayne has a decent day. Jermaine Gresham, Greg Olson, going with that flex right there, the double tight end. Falcons defense up against the Bears. They'll probably rattle Cutler a little bit. I see the Donkeys squeaking it out here, just barely.
Yeah, the Deer, I mean, we're looking at some tough matchups this week. Outside of Rivers, who I think can put up our 30 points for us, we've got Ray Rice against the Steelers, and they're not aging. They're aggressive, and despite everybody else's offseason moves, they might have the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, they just re-signed all their own guys. I mean,
exactly. Lawrence Timmons, go Knowles. Ray Rice versus Pittsburgh. Des Bryant, he's going against the Jets, a team that did make moves, but they made some really good moves. A.J. Green in his first game as a Bengal, I don't know. T.J. Ward, he's a heck of a corner for the Browns. The Deer don't have very good matchups. I'm also going to take the Donkeys. I think Beanie Wells is the difference here. Whoever plays the Panthers is going to be good for 150 yards and a touchdown or two.
I'll take him every time.
He's got the job all to himself. I'll take the Donkeys here by 20 points. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry to me. All right, final game. We got the Cowboys from hell against the Backwood Dogs. I'll go ahead and let you start this one.
Well, first off, I got to say, Backwoods always plays me tough. Usually, if I win, it's not by much. So I think it's definitely going to be another grinded out game. For Backwoods, Romo's going to be tested early with that Jets defense. So, what's he going to be able to do? I see Gore slashing and just running all over that Seattle defense, so he's going to get a lot of points there. Calvin Johnson, obviously, he's just going to be a freak, and he's going to get plenty of end zone chances.
Mm-hmm.
If Colston returns to his old form from a few years ago, he's definitely going to be dangerous for Drew Brees. And the Chargers are going to be facing a Vikings offense that's going to rely on AP. Who knows what McNabb does? So they may give up some points there, but they may not. So that's what I see. For the Cowboys side, on the other side of the ball, you got the trifecta of Matt Schaub, Andre Johnson, Owen Daniels. So hopefully that Houston defense can really carve it up against Indy and give me some points there. Mendenhall, he may not do much against Baltimore. It's almost a risky start, I see, but hopefully I can get some things done. Jennings and Macklin, they should get some big points and benefit from their quarterback play. And the Eagles D is going to be tested against a young St. Louis offense, but I think they get it done. Honestly, I'm going to give it up. I think Backwoods takes it by a squeaker.
So you're going to go ahead and take a step back here, and you're also picking yourself for a loss here.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and be humble about this one. He usually spanks me, so I'll give it up.
Okay, sounds a little dirty there. I'm going to look at the matchups here, and I see where your Texans are going against the Colts defense, who really, especially in the secondary, they've had a lot of questions. It seems like the only time they were good was when they had Bob Sanders and when he was healthy, and that was for about the first 3 weeks of every year.
Yep.
So I think the Texans that you have in that passing game can really put up some numbers. With Mendenhall against the Ravens, although it's a tough matchup, it's a grinded-out game. And what do you do in the grinded-out games? You're going to want to hand it off and run the ball. So I think Mendenhall could even have his big splash here, 125, 130 yards, maybe a couple touchdowns or so. Just really good weapons there. Macklin against the Rams, I think he can get some receptions, really find a spot. Looking at the other side, the Backwoods Dogs, he's got Romo and Felix Jones against the Jets. That's tough. His receivers are good. Colston, I think we'll have to see what he does. Brandon Marshall, we'll have to see what he does. I don't think their matchups are going to dictate their year so much as their own ability and where they're at in their careers.
Nope.
And that's something that we don't quite know yet, similar to like a running back by committee situation. We're just going to have to see where it plays out throughout the fantasy year. With Gore, he could do some things, but I'm not sold on him. D'Angelo, I don't think they're a good team. And when Romo and Felix have the tough matchups, I like the Cowboys from hell here. A little hometown love here from your headquarters. I'm picking the Cowboys this week.
All right, sounds good. So that's our week one predictions. We'll see you on the flip side.
See ya. Go Knowles.
Go Knowles.